Suits me, eh? Whoa, that's, where would you even stab something like that?
What manner of creature is this?
I'm not too proud to admit when I'm scared. Terrified, actually.
Aye, sure, that. Whatever that be, why not?
So alone. Never alone. Exokaizo reached. Here. We have been here. We're the gates of Akaizo. We guard the silence of Akaizo. You are a disturbance. Aethus has disturbed the bones of Akaizo. The old pacts permit him to pass, but you will go no further. Akaizo is closed. The gates are barred. Our covenant with the Old Ones does not forbid questions. The living were meant to forget Ukaizo. Nothing can be gained of remembering it. A challenge would be a welcome distraction. Take the chosen people of the Deadfire, called Akaizo, home. The outsiders were their contemporaries, full of wisdom, ingenuity, and terrifying ambition.
That sure sounds like the Ingwithans. Guess they got around.
The outsiders passed from the world. None of them remain.
Not all of them passed. We got the one they left behind.
The Old Ones and the Outsiders traded, collaborated, learned, and built together. Outsiders augured the doom of the Old Ones. The rift unmade them both. The Outsiders coveted ancient Ukaizo. Its occupation was a hindrance. Machines were built on a foundation of outsider lies. When the machines were nearly done, the Outsiders constructed bodies of flesh and bone. Skeletons now. There remain ones which drew the spirits of the dead through a sieve. Finally, the Outsiders fashioned a Guardian to stand vigil over their work. Our bond with the Old Ones compelled us to trust their allies. They offered us a trade, eternal life for eternal service. We were ordered to slam shut the gates of Ukaizo for all time. The Outsiders vanished from the world. Quiet gave way to chaos. Storms battered the seas. The sleeping hearts of mountains awoke with fury. When the last screams of the Old Ones faded, only we remained. None but the green colossus whose every footstep disturbs tranquility. You are the first kith to visit the shores of Lost Ukaizo, and you will be the last. By now, you are rested, and there is little more to tell. May your journey through the wheel be an informed one. The science of Okaizo will be restored. Time will dismantle your bones.
I'm here.
Stay behind me.
Captain. You be right screwed.
Got it.
I'm here.
Happy to oblige. Say your prayers.
Captain. Consider it right fucked.
This thing isn't doing the job.
No mercy!
Happy to oblige. Yeah?
Stay behind. This thing isn't doing the job.
Fair warning. One frog in the figurehead. Futile.
Tell me. Fine. Let's hire it out!
Yeah?
All right. Watch me work.
Something I can do. Something I can do. Yeah.
Let's reap this whirlwind!
Captain.
Tell me. Then. How may I help?
shall deal with this one.
Time to separate the chaff.
Right on target.
Now you be right screwed.
Take them down.
Captain.
Yeah? Glory beat, no one noticed that, right?
That order's too tall. Variatus! I'm here. That's it!
Let's reap this whirlwind.
Ahoy. Like flogging a figurehead. Futile.
Yeah?
I shall deal with this one.
Never you mind that miss. I'll land the next one.
Right. Like flogging a figurehead. Futile.
Something I can do? How may I help?
flogging a figurehead. Futile.
How may I help?
What can I do you for?
Captain. Another tack, Cap.
Hey. How may I help?
That's not supposed to happen.
Let's reap this whirlwind!
Right. Aye, Captain.
Yes?
Yeah, there's a walloping.
Happy to oblige.
Captain. Aye, I'm flogging a figurehead. Futile.
Take that.
Why? I wish I could.
Happy to oblige.
That's it.
Yes?
Let's hire it out.
Ahoy. Well, I'll be slicing her stem to stern.
Yeah?
This thing isn't doing the job.
What can I do you for?
On it.
One of my eyes be open.
I suppose we're heading straight into that. Gilded Vale got its name from the way the wheat fields used to look in the sun.
Might as well be a different world. Well, hard to miss what you can barely remember. All I know is these great people got a funny way of passing on. They disappear from the world, but leave their problems behind for the rest of us to deal with. You know, I broke a wheel once too. First thing I thought of when my mom had this spinning wheel. And she loved it. Well, I was playing with it in the way a young child might when it wouldn't go back into place, so I pushed it harder, and pretty soon I'd broken off a spoke. Broke off 3 more. Anyway, I got whipped pretty good for it. That wheel was never the same, even after my dad fixed it. I used to think of the gods as being like parents to all of us. And now I know better. They're children, playing while their folks are gone.
"5 years ago, you controlled the destiny of thousands of souls in Sun and Shadow. But the choice you make today shall define the fate of every living thing in Aora. I know you will. I know you'll choose wisely. And no matter what happens, it's been an honor journeying with you. Again.
We gonna do this or what? We've made it this far, yet we're still alive. Might as well square off with my god before our luck runs dry. Sure do. If Gone wants you dead, I figure he can do it. Tell me, Watcher, can there be a god of light and birth if souls themselves can no longer be reborn? Sway a god's will? Well, if anyone could do it, I reckon it'd be you. I thought it'd be different, but I couldn't dream of any other way. Now then, shall we go face my god for one last time, whether we're meant to wither or thrive? Consider me your second shadow.
I look back, and I ain't but half sure how we got ourselves here, Cap. Ah, you two. Might be that explains my missing bottles. Coming out here lean and lonesome, sailing us through that mother of storms, landing us here. Give a second and a half on you, you do. No denying that. Trying to seduce me, Cap. Somebody had to be keeping yours onwards then, Cap. To the bitter end and beyond.
machine controlling the storm winds down. The clattering of its machinery settles into a low whir and then, at last, hiccups to a halt. Beyond the tower, the black, roiling clouds of Andra's mortar roll away from the ancient city of Ukaizo, with only a tired the bell's ringing is soft, not the clangor and torrent you've grown used to. It calls to your soul, and your soul yearns.
Watcher, your journey nears its conclusion.
The pallid night stands before you, her gaunt face impassive.
That will depend on the will of Kith, whose desires are ever in flux. Soon you will confront Aethys for what will likely be the final time, and you will do so as the Herald of Barath, the only creature on the face of Aora to whom he will listen.
The pallid night inclines her head to you, black hair hanging lank in her face. She steps back and cedes the floor to
If Aethys truly intends to go through with his mad plan to destroy the wheel, a generation's worth of souls will be trapped in the in-between. So many would suffer. How can Aethys be so cruel? He cannot just
Abaddon strides forward.
Aethys thrust this crisis on the Kith. They did not bring it upon themselves. Their only mistake was in trusting us to watch over them. Who will help them rebuild their world now?
Aethys will reveal every secret of the gods. Will Kith be able to change the established order if they have no wonder to inspire them? Aethys must help them resolve this quickly, lest every one of Aora's few remaining mysteries be laid plain.
Coddled children learn nothing that is not spoon-fed to them. With the wheel destroyed, Kith will tear themselves apart. It is the gods' duty to prevent that happening, lest they doom us all. And as Kith must be ruled, so too must the gods. I say that if Aethys is so
Kith are strongest when they follow our lead, and we are strongest when we lead in turn. United in purpose with the gods, Kith can accomplish things that without us, they could never have even begun. They must be sure.
Kith will not solve Aethys' puzzle on their own. And without an established order to fight against, the bonds that bind them dissolve, and they fight amongst themselves.
That confidence is what will save Kith, Watcher. Do not lose it when you stand before Aethys.
Boudica's firm hand is but the motherly smothering of Helia by another name. Mortals should have no special advantages. Only once Kith have striven to improve themselves through trial will they truly know their measure. Kith, our intervention in your struggle would be a cruelty and counter to our purpose.
He lets his words hang in the air for a moment. Gaze level with your own.
Indeed. Kith must discover for themselves what it is they are worth, and of what it is they are capable. What we do for them, they do not learn for themselves. I have faith in Kith's ability to meet Aethys' challenge. Do not mistake my words for indifference, Watcher. They are born from a fierce belief in your potential, not a refutation of it.
And yet you come to Ukaizo alone, with none at your back. All that Kith stand to lose. And even then your leaders could not join hands, squabbling instead over prestige and resources. You believe that will change when my final death comes calling? You are a greater fool than I thought. Margaret is blinded by her affection for mortals. She does not see that entropy is the destiny of all things. If Kith have had their chance,
It is time to let silence reign.
As Rimmergon's words fade, the Pallid Knight returns. She no longer towers over you, a giant even among the gods, but meets you at your height. She lets the—
Well, Watcher, you know where we stand. What do you believe? I only suggest that you walk into this future with eyes wide, Watcher. Now the time has come for us to part. I laid upon you a difficult duty, and I know you desire to be free of it. You are no stranger to hard choices. You killed Theos, and when his soul was laid bare before— Remember the strength it took to make that choice, and know that you alone may sway Aethys now.
The gods depart one by one in brooding silence. A solitary figure remains perfect.
Gareth is a fool if she thinks I'll let her enjoy the last word. You are trusted with a heavy responsibility, Watcher. Speaking for mortals, and representing their interests in the future to come. Instead of working with mortals, you came this far on your own. You rejected compromise, idealism. Society needs us. Eora searches for its queen. Before we part, what compelled you to reject every dissenting voice and go your own way? Consider my curiosity appeased. For now. In our whether you heeded my wisdom or not, everything you've done to get this far has informed our view of mortal kind. I hope you're satisfied with your performance. We've learned much from each other. The trading companies, the locals, and even the pirates had desperate, half-cocked plans to counter this threat. I couldn't agree more. When at last I claim my place of leadership among you, the only challenge will be convinced Aethys will no doubt have a sunnier outlook on mortals and their chances of success. He already has everything he wants. The rest of us will be sharpening our blades.
Keep falling asleep on me, I'm gonna have to start walking behind you with a pillow. Oh, by the way, the storm's gone. Also, I think Aethys is ending the world. It seems we're all still here.
God's darnation. My head.
In here with me thinking we were right and proper dead this time. We ain't dead, right?
I see that Ngati continues to test me by sparing your life. Ukaizo is diminished for you standing here. I will bring the dignity of this city back to the Huana. The time for talk is over. Akira, to action!
What can I do you for?
Yes?
Yeah?
Aye.
Aye?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I'm not hungry.
No good.
That's me you're hitting!
Huh?
Aye?
Yeah?
You think you captain? Nem
You
not better
descend
captain.
into the ancient winding streets of Ukaizo. Battered by storms for thousands of years, the ruins bear the marks of their role as the lone witnesses of the gods' great secret at the center of the city. The houses and boulevards are pierced by great spears of luminous Audra. There are no... As you approach the center of the city, the weathered architecture gives way to more luminous Audra, piercing the ruins, eventually overtaking them entirely. Cresting the top of a fallen tower, you finally get a clear view of Aethys. He stands, legs astride, next to a great stone monument ringed with 11 caverns. An immense Angwithan machine floats above the monument, suspended by invisible energy emanating from a well of light beneath it. Great brass rings spin around a core of metal and Audra at the machine's center. Periodically, Aethys's massive arms swing back. The movement alone is enough to draw great gusts of wind toward him. When they come down on the machine, the impact, the only safe route to the god is a steep ascent along a monstrous pillar of luminous Audra. Intertwined with fragments of Ukaizo's ruins that it has carried through the centuries, the pillar bends in a long arc, towering above the machine. The pillar levels out near Aethys's head, a silent observer to the destruction of the machine it has grown.
Strange to see Ukaizo in this way. It may be hard to picture, but this city was once full of life. The Huana, yes, but also kith from many other cultures. Great hanging trees shadowed these boulevards. Gardens sprawled across the open rooftops. Each spring, a festival procession would wind its way from the hillside into this valley. The celebrants would pass through a steep walk among the stalls of foreign merchants, flowers falling upon them from all sides. All people of all nations, together in a celebration of new life. Such was the power and beauty of lost Ukaizo.
If we don't fix this mess you're about to cause, the whole world is gonna look this bad. I mean, it's a mighty heavy load you're putting on our shoulders. I just hope we can carry it.
As long as there are people like you in this world, Adair, I truly do. This power has always been in the grasp of mortals. Now you will finally be aware of it. Now you will be able to decide what to do with it.
Gon, please, I'm begging you. What do I do following this? How am I to best serve those still living? To improve our future?
The Deadfire and the Eastern Reach are full of animancers. Women and men with brilliant minds who can solve this great problem. They will also need people with brilliant souls, like you, Shodi. People who can tend to the spiritual needs of the world in a time of fear and desperation. Remember, the flame you bear is not only light, but warmth. Provide comfort to all who need it. Ain't never chatted up a god before. Feel like I should be, and yet thing I'll be wanting to know, what be stopping the other gods from coming down and just setting their shit back straight, and then you breaking it again. This be our new tides, then, or... A wise question, Seraphim. Have no doubt, some of the gods are already trying to figure out a way to fix this on their own. It is not beyond their capabilities. After all, we made these machines with the Huana many years ago. But it is not something they can do easily. Not without mortal assistance. It will be for mortals to decide if they should receive it.
What right do you have to do this? Destroy the wheel and leave us with nothing? Without even knowing what will come next?
Aloth, we are all gods and mortals, responsible for our own actions. But inaction carries its own moral responsibility. It is a burden I have carried for far too long. One must always do as their conscience dictates, even if that means abdicating a position of power. But what of you, Watcher? Why have you followed me? Have you come to bear witness to the breaking of the wheel?
What? How about we destroy you all? Here and now, Captain Watcher.
No. This is Remergon's doing. You cannot believe this is what is best for us, Watcher. Why would you ask me to do such a thing?
The cycle cannot be denied.
Even if a final death is inevitable, life is still worth living while we have it. No, Watcher. I will not succumb to despair.
No, Aethys! Don't listen to him!
Gon, please. Don't cave to the despair the Watcher seeks to smother you with.
Indulge me in a moment's curiosity. There is something I wish to know about Eora, about Kith, that I can only learn through your eyes. Very well. You have carried a heavy burden across the dead fire. You are free now. Many will come to you for help in the years ahead. I have great hope for you. But always
Aethys squares himself to the machine. As you move to a safe distance, he draws his fist back and resumes his assault. The blow, he returns to his task, each strike bringing with it the sound of cracking stone and twisting metal, the flickering of luminous Adra across Ukaizo. As the ancient machine finally begins to succumb to his strength, cracks appear along the hands, then race up the arms. Aethys does not slow his assault, but continues unabated. Its brass rings twisted. The machine spins erratically but withstands the relentless barrage. Aethys stands astride it, and you see Aethys' arm shatter upward from his hand through his elbow. A flash of light and heat bursts from the core, accompanied by a cacophony of destruction. As Aethys' voice fades, the enormity of what you've accomplished sinks in. You have confronted a god. You have rediscovered the ancient city where the wheel was forged, and you have seen the wheel shattered. Maras Nua's body finally goes still amidst the rubble of the Angwithan machines, yet it continues to glow. Priests and mystics have strange dreams of an island of eternal dawn at the eye of a storm, a port where the tide never flows out, a roadside tavern whose door leads only inward. As a watcher, you see what these dreamers cannot. The souls of the departed drifting toward the Adra Colossus and the twilight afterlife within. Whether it is a temporary haven or a permanent end will depend on what the Kith of Eora are able to accomplish on their own. And while Maras Nua stands frozen over Ukaizo, the gods look on the labors of Kith, but they do not intervene. They watch. In reaching Ukaizo and facing Aethys, you have accomplished the impossible. And you have done it without the assistance of the great powers of Deadfire. Your feats capture the awe and imagination of a world that needs heroes more than ever. With each day, your legend grows, as does the chaos in Deadfire. Ukaizo remains unclaimed, and the Efekia Channel becomes the site of a near-constant battle as the Huana and the Rawatayans vie for control of the unprotected island. The Rawatayans rely on their cannons, and the Huana call forth massive waves and beasts, and while they chip away at one another, the Valians and the Principi pursue their own ends with increasing abandon. Emboldened by their rivals' distraction, the Valian Trading Company seizes territory and mines luminous Audra at a startling pace. Huana villages are left at the mercy of to support their operations, the Valian Trading Company begins shipping ever greater quantities of supplies and luminous Audra to and from the archipelago. This attracts the attention. The mysterious deaths of Governor Clario and Storm Speaker Ikawa provoke hostilities between the Valian settlers and the Huawan residents. What starts with angry words escalates to retaliatory killings as each side blames the other. By the time anyone bothers to question the strange coincidences surrounding their deaths, including reports of a cloaked Omawi woman seen in both the port and the village, both sides, as the balance of power changes in Deadfire, so too does Nekataka transform. With the major powers at one another's throats, Nekataka becomes a maelstrom of chaos. Spies and smugglers follow. The Kahanga leadership takes responsibility for the welfare of the Raparu, and the Gullet starts to improve. What was once a den of crime, poverty, and illness slowly becomes a quiet haven for the Raparu. With Skiarilifus's essence still empowering the Water Shapers Guild, the practice of water shaping grows and flourishes in Nekataka, and its practitioners rise in prestige. They install conveyors in the falls that run through the city and craft sculptures for every street and plaza. Thus, the Water Shapers Guild. Your brief encounter with Letharn proves deeply influential for the children of the Dawnstars. Plagued with nightmares and haunted by the deaths at Hesango, Letharn begins questioning his faith in Aethys. The children of the Dawnstars respond to Aethys' sacrifice by taking up the lanterns and sickles of the Harvesters of Gone. They become pilgrims of essence, gathering souls across Aora and ferrying them to the haven within the Audra Colossus. Ruanu, the chieftain of the Huana at Tikawara, dies mysteriously. The tribe finds his body washed up on the same beach where Anaharu challenged him to the trial of waves. Some blame Anaharu's vengeful spirit. The leaderless tribe eventually scatters. Some head to Nekataka, while others seek out the Wahaki. The dragon, Neraskirlas, no longer passes between Aora and the White Void, and the dead flow slowly breaks apart, exposing the temple long frozen within. Under Halfyorn's guidance, the Harbingers of Dusk resettle within Remergon's temple, vowing to forever protect it from the defiling touch of outsiders. Over time, the group becomes increasingly reclusive and fanatical. In besting the Beast of Winter, you earned the Death God's mercy rather than his enmity. The deity remains characteristically unforthcoming about his decision, and you're left to wonder whether in doing battle with him in the White Void, you once repaired, the Audra at the primal island of Kazuwari again pulses with the flow of soul essence between the here and the beyond. The faces of the hunt continue to rule the Crucible and Galawain's, or rather, Tawamawai's name. The trial summoned by the stat, like the other souls following in your wake, Muatu eventually yearns to move on to the beyond and the real. Stymied by Aethys' actions, however, hundreds of Kith, and no small number of Wilder and Primordials, flee from the Black Isle, their minds a confused collection of inconsistent and contradictory memories. Each escapee bears knowledge that was once lost, and agents of the Handical slain by your hand, The Titan of Wal poses little further threat to Aora. As the corpse decays, it putrefies into a massive nest of hungry fungal monstrosities. Though your adventures alter the destiny of Aora and the balance of power in Deadfire, they also leave a lasting mark on those who travel at your side. Adair returns to Hisongo, where he reunites with Byrne, the son of his former lover, Alava. The boy takes heart in Adair's account that Aethys and all the other gods were false, petty, and unworthy of the love of Kith. Realizing how close he came to dying for this cause, Byrne finds Shodi is not a priestess who understands the meaning of subtlety. As such, she makes her girlish crush on Adair painfully obvious from the moment she first sets eyes on the strapping fighter. Early in your travels, Adair appears discomforted by her persistent flirting. He often grimaces when she sidles up to him, and he takes endless pains to keep their seemingly lit with an inner glow. Shodi takes to a new life of mission work with gusto. She still is committed to shepherding souls forgone, but having realigned her goals with that of her fellow Dawn Stars, she now endeavors to help the living as much as the dead. As you travel the Deadfire, you find her sleeping better and laughing more often. When the time comes for her to return to her temple in Neketaka, though the two of you no longer travel together, Shodi holds fast to the memory of you in her heart, remaining your fierce and doting girlfriend, faithful even in her absence. You receive a missive for every day apart, though they often arrive in a single bundle some weeks or months past. Aloth renews his commitment to destroying the Leaden Key. With the wheel broken, loosening the gods' stranglehold on Kith is more urgent than ever. It is a lofty goal, and one he does not expect to finish in his lifetime. But if you let Rimaro go, and the former pirate ostensibly set sail for the trade lanes of the Eastern Reach, the Edier Empire, Old Valia, and the Republics. For the remainder of your time together, Seraphon seems, if not exactly happy, at least contented with the outcome of your confrontation with his former mentor at Sayuka. And yet, when the two of you part, Seraphon seems emboldened, invigorated by a new sense of purpose. He buys you a drink, toasts to the Deadfire, says let's see if we can make something worth a shit out of what's left of these Principe swabs. And the Valian Trading Company is initially furious when they learn that Pallegina had assisted the Watcher in claiming Ukaizo. In the chaotic aftermath, the company takes a more nuanced view of Pallegina's actions. The turmoil in the region allows the well-organized company to seize a number of valuable assets from. Despite her good fortunes in the Deadfire, Pallegina mourns the loss of Jackalow for years. She curses herself for not finding her friend sooner, for not protecting him from Captain Tutzadl and his crew. On time away from the Navy gives Maya Rua some perspective on how Rawatai conducted the Deadfire occupation. No sooner does she return to active duty than she voices her frustrations over some of the more underhanded tactics she witnessed and carried out in the name of the. Though Maya's covert assignment in the Deadfire is considered a success, few claim knowledge of it or openly congratulate her. She receives no praise beyond knowing glances or the occasional raised tankard from her countrymen. She never responds. She looks forward to seeing her brother again. So does Ashiza. Takehu distances himself from the problems of the Deadfire, giving the tribes a reprieve from godlike omens. Ngati's silence speaks volumes. The Huana grow to rely on each other, paving a new way forward divorced from their traditions. Soon after he departs Neketaka, distant tribes report of unusual and salacious water sculptures appearing on the shores. These quaint visitations are widely celebrated. The identity of the artist, ever an open. Your farewell is short and cordial. Nothing further needs to be said, and you wish each other well. Your pursuit of Aethys and your journey to Ukaizo signal the end of forces that have shaped the lives of Kith and the course of nations. The cycle of reincarnation has been broken. The storms of as the Watcher of Cadnua and the former Herald of Bareth. You return to your ship and begin the long journey home. You hope